Discarded by family, she lived with a CEO for 6 months revealed, an amazing love transformation. In the heart of Maplewood, Sarah was known for her infectious laugh and heart of gold. But all those Sunday dinners and community events felt like distant memories when her dreams led her to New York City. Leaving behind the comfort of her small-town roots, she thought the glittering skyline would catch her heart. Instead, it left her feeling discarded, a stranger in her own life. Now, at 28, Sarah stood in a cramped apartment trying to balance tables and orders, her heart heavy with longing for the family she had left behind. Lonely nights echoed in her mind as the city buzzed around her like a cruel joke. Everyone was moving fast, but she felt stuck, worn down by the anxiety of chasing a dream that seemed increasingly out of reach. Then, out of nowhere, a chance appeared. A wealthy CEO named Ethan needed a live-in assistant. His stunning penthouse overlooking Central Park promised a fresh start. The job offer felt like a lifeline. Handsome and charming with a world of luxury around him, Ethan was everything she'd never imagined, yet his captivating smile masked a loneliness that danced through the penthouse halls. Walking through his smooth, polished life was like stepping into a movie. Ethan's cool confidence chamfered sharply against Sarah's sincere dedication. Their first encounters flamed with tension as he tried to juggle board meetings while she mastered the art of blending in. Misunderstandings punctured the air. They were worlds apart. She felt the weight of her working-class upbringing press on her while he effortlessly navigated health clubs and high society galas. Just when it seemed something might spark between them, her phone rang, shattering what little hope she had. A childhood friend's cry for help ripped open the wound of her past. A single mother in distress needed Sarah's loyalty and, just like that, the familiar call of duty and family loyalty crashed back into her life. She understood too well how urgency can pull you back to where your roots are. Torn, like a ship caught in a storm, she felt the tug-of-war in her heart, her old life and the enticing whisper of a new future. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Sarah's heart pounded as she contemplated returning home. Memories of her family's faces and their laughter flooded back, but so did the feeling of being disregarded, misunderstood. Meanwhile, Ethan was standing at the cusp of realization, surrounded by success but knowing the hollowness it often brought. The clock was ticking. With her 6-month stay closing in, both Sarah and Ethan had to grasp the truth that love is not merely a series of circumstances, but an understanding that thrives in the warmth of connection. As she readied to make a choice that would redefine everything, the thought gnawed at her: can love truly bridge the chasm between her heart's longing and unyielding loyalty to family? The answer hovered, tantalizingly close yet painfully elusive. Sarah took a deep breath, letting the noise of the city swirl around her. She leaned against the kitchen counter, her mind racing. The thought of returning home was both comforting and terrifying. What would her family think? Would they welcome her back with open arms or remind her of the dreams she had left behind? There was so much doubt locked inside her heart, fighting with the urgency of her friend's call. Across the penthouse, Ethan sensed her struggle. He was a man accustomed to steering through turbulent waters, yet he found himself adrift, torn between the world he had built for himself and the woman who seemed to spark something deep within him. Every time he stole a glance her way, there was a quiet longing, a yearning not just for her, but for a connection that felt real, pure. "Sarah," he called softly, stepping into the kitchen. His voice cut through her thoughts, and she turned, forcing a smile. He looked different tonight, softer, more vulnerable. "We need to talk." Her heart fluttered as she nodded, afraid of what he might say. They had walked around each other with cautious steps, afraid to tread into the territory of emotions that could either bind them together or shatter the fragile connection they had begun to forge. "What's on your mind?" Sarah asked, trying to maintain her composure. "I can tell something's bothering you," Ethan confessed, leaning against the counter opposite her. The tension between them shifted, charged with an awareness that crackled in the air. "You've been distant. It feels like you're somewhere else, and I want to know if it's about, well, us. She swallowed hard. Now was the moment she could avoid or embrace, the chance to voice her fears and hopes. I received a call from a friend back home. She needs me, Sarah said, her voice steady but her heart racing. I have to go back. The expression on Ethan's face fell as if he had been struck. Back home? He whispered, not quite believing it. For how long? I don't know, she admitted, striking herself with the heaviness of her admission. Maybe forever. I don't want to abandon her. She's been like a sister to me. But I also don't know what that means for us. A silence fell between them, thick and suffocating. Ethan took a step closer. You deserve to follow your heart, wherever it leads you. If it's home, then go. But his voice was quiet, almost pleading. I want you to know that you mean something to me. His words hung in the air, carrying weight far heavier than any of the luxury items surrounding them. Sarah felt her heart ache, teetering on a precipice. They had only started to explore what could be, and now it felt like it might all slip away in a heartbeat. I don't want to leave you, she confessed, her eyes meeting his. The warmth between them was palpable, a thread they could either continue weaving together or let unravel. Ethan reached out, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, the gentle touch causing her breath to hitch. Then don't stay, let us figure this out together. The words rushed around her like a tidal wave. Could she truly choose to stay? Wouldn't it mean turning her back on her family again? The struggle surged within her, a battle of love versus loyalty. In that moment of silence, surrounded by the haze of uncertainty, the doorbell rang out like a gunshot. Both Sarah and Ethan jumped, startled. I'll get it, he said quickly, but Sarah's instincts kicked in. No. Let me handle it. She rushed to the door, her heart pounding. Who could it be, her past crashing back in? As she opened the door, the familiar face staring back sent chills down her spine. Sarah. I need your help. She froze, torn between her two worlds, knowing that whatever happened next could change everything. And with that, a storm of emotions swirled in her heart, leaving her teetering on the edge of destiny. What would she choose, and how would it impact her budding connection with Ethan? The words echoed in the air as Sarah stood frozen at the door. Her childhood friend, MIA, looked frantic, her eyes darting back and forth as if searching for something tangible to hold on to. Sarah's heart raced, torn between the familiarity of MIA and the uncertain path ahead with Ethan. MIA? Sarah whispered, struggling to mask her surprise. She hadn't expected to see her so soon, especially now when everything felt so precarious. What's going on? MIA? Ethan's voice called from behind Sarah, a hint of confusion lacing his tone. Sarah stepped aside, allowing MIA to enter, watching as the two worlds of her life collided. MIA, this is Ethan, Sarah introduced, an awkward tension hanging between them. Hi, Ethan said, his expression shifting as he took in MIA's distressed demeanor. Is everything okay? MIA shook her head, rubbing her temples as if trying to ward off an impending headache. No, not really. It's my mom, she had a bad fall, and now there's talk of surgery. I didn't know who else to turn to. So you came to me, Sarah said softly, her heart twisting with mixed feelings. She felt the weight of responsibility crush down on her, memories flooding back of their childhood together, the laughter and the bond that time had only slightly frayed. I know it's a lot to ask, MIA continued, her voice tinged with desperation. But I need your help. You're the only one I trust to get through this with Mom. Before Sarah could respond, she turned to Ethan, whose face was unreadable, muscles tense and jaw clenched. There was no doubt he was caught in the crossfire of her past and present. Ethan, I understand, he interrupted, his voice steady but distant. You have to help your friend. Family comes first. I get it. Sarah felt a sharp pang in her chest. The very idea of leaving had been already so painful, but now, faced with Ethan's quiet acceptance, it felt even worse. And yet, in the core of her, she knew he was right. Did she still have a family to return to? Maybe I should come with you, Ethan suggested suddenly, an unexpected determination in his tone. You shouldn't have to face this alone. I can help. No. The word spilled from Sarah's mouth before she could catch it. The thought of Ethan stepping into her past felt like a breach, a violation of the sanctuary they had created. It's family business. I can handle it. Mia looked between them, her brow furrowed, sensing a tension that felt like a palpable force. Is this a bad time? She asked gently, her voice softening with concern. No, it's not that, Sarah said, her emotions swirling. It's just complicated. Ethan took a step back, creating space as if he was suddenly realizing how far apart their worlds truly were. He studied her, a flicker of hurt dancing in his eyes. You need to do what's right for you, Sarah. I won't stand in the way of that. Just know he hesitated, and in that moment, he appeared fragile, exposed. I'll be here if you need me. Tears prickled at the corners of her eyes. His understanding suffocated her, amping up the tumult within. She was losing him just as she was losing the comfort of her life back home. With a steadying breath, Sarah turned back to her friend, the gravity of the situation pulling her focus. What can I do to help? Just be there for Mom, Mia murmured, hope mingling with fear. Your presence, it means everything. As Sarah nodded, committing herself to Mia's side, a shadow of doubt lingered. Was she really ready to shake her world again? The uncertainty hung heavy, thickening the air. What awaited her at home? She took a glance at Ethan, whose eyes held so many unspoken words. Behind his composed exterior was a storm of feelings. And as Sarah stepped away from the threshold of the penthouse, leaving her haven behind, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was stepping into a whirlwind she could neither control nor escape. What awaited in the place she once called home, and would it cost her everything? The car ride to her old neighborhood felt longer than it should have. Sarah stared out the window, watching the city blur by in a rush of memories. Each landmark sparked a recollection: a birthday party at the park, long walks home from school, lazy summer afternoons spent at Mia's house, where they would scheme about their futures. She squeezed her eyes shut, trying to block out the flood of feelings. Sarah, are you okay? Mia's voice broke through her thoughts. You look miles away. Just thinking. She forced a smile, but her chest felt heavy. This was the place that once felt like home, but now, it seemed foreign, tinged with dread. Mia's hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. I appreciate you coming with me. It means so much. Of course. I'm here for you, Sarah replied, though her mind was a whirlwind of doubt. When they finally arrived, the house loomed in front of them, the familiar red brick contrasting sharply against the overcast sky. It sighed under the weight of the years, and for a moment, all Sarah could do was stare. Was it really the same? Mia parked, her movements jerky with nerves. Come on, let us go inside. As they stepped over the threshold, Sarah felt an odd mix of nostalgia and anxiety. The smell of freshly baked cookies wafted through the air, a reminder of countless weekends spent in the kitchen with Mia's mom. Mom! Mia called out, her voice echoing slightly in the stillness. Silence stretched between them, thick with anticipation. Suddenly, a weak voice floated from the back of the house. In the living room, the sight that met her eyes when they entered was heart-wrenching. Mia's mom was propped up on the couch, a blanket wrapped tightly around her frail frame, her face pale and tired. But her eyes sparkled faintly when they locked onto Mia. Mia, darling, her mom whispered, and just like that, the world felt smaller, easier to grasp. Hey, Mom, Mia rushed over, kneeling at her feet, while Sarah lingered in the doorway, memories swirling like autumn leaves in her mind. She remembered the warmth there, the laughter, the advice, the love. But could she find that same comfort now with the shadows looming over them? Sarah. Mia's mom looked up, her expression shifting from weariness to joy. Oh, sweetie, it's wonderful to see you. Sarah moved closer, allowing herself to feel the warmth of affection spreading through her. Hi, Mrs. Turner, she said, swallowing the lump in her throat. How are you doing? Just trying to hold on, came the bittersweet reply. But seeing you here, it makes me feel stronger. Thank you for coming. Just then, Mia caught Sarah's eye, silently pleading for strength both of them needed. It struck Sarah how much they had grown apart, yet here they were, a pair of girls who had conquered childhood together, pulled back together in the face of uncertainty. Then Mia's mom leaned forward, fatigue evident in her features. I need you both, You know, family is everything, especially now. The words clung to the air, charged with a heaviness that caught Sarah off guard. There it was again, the between-the-lines understanding that no one ever truly leaves their family behind. The connections, however frayed, ran deeper than any distance could sever. Suddenly, her phone buzzed fiercely in her pocket, a jolt in the fragile atmosphere. She fished it out, recognition hitting her like a tidal wave. It was Ethan. A moment of hesitation passed. She felt pulled in two directions. Was it fair to check in now? MIS mom caught her glance and added, "You do what's best for you, sweetheart." The weight of her mother's words unraveled the grip Sarah thought she had on her emotions. Maybe she needed this break, this moment to breathe. "Excuse me, I need to step outside," Sarah said, the urgency bubbling within her. She stepped out into the brisk air, the tension releasing just slightly. As she fidgeted with her phone, she couldn't shake the feeling that life was about to throw her another curveball, and her decisions were about to shape everything. What would she say to Ethan? Would it change everything again, just when she felt she was regaining balance? She bit her lip, staring at the screen. Could she really face the truth now? As her finger hovered above the call button, uncertainty swam through her mind. What awaited in this complicated sea of past and present? The chill in the air pressed against Sarah's skin as she stood outside, clutching her phone, torn between the past and decisions yet to be made. The familiar sound of children laughing echoed from a nearby yard, a stark contrast to the heaviness that hung over her moment. She took a deep breath. It was time to confront the truth. Pressing the call button felt monumental. Each ring echoed in her ear, a countdown to whatever lay ahead. She didn't even know what she wanted from Ethan. Was it clarity? Closure? Her emotions tangled into a knot, memories of laughter and warmth merging with heartache and unresolved issues. Just as the thought crossed her mind, he answered, his voice cool and collected but with an undercurrent of emotion. "Hey, Sarah, is everything all right?" All at once, the words came burning out of her. "I'm here, at MAS. Her mom isn't doing well." The weight of those words hung in the air, heavier than she expected. There was silence on the other end, a pause that expanded into uncertainty. Ethan's voice dropped lower, more serious. "I'm so sorry. Do you need me to come?" She opened her mouth to respond, but the question hit a nerve. Did she want him there? Or would it just complicate things further? I don't know. I just needed to talk to you. It's a lot. I'm here for you. Always, he said, anguish tangled with sincerity as he spoke. It reminded her of everything they used to share, how effortless it felt before distance had stretched between them. She longed to take comfort in that certainty that used to anchor her. Thanks, it came out soft, almost vulnerable. "I'm just overwhelmed with what's happening and what it all means." "Life can throw curveballs," Ethan replied, and she could hear the carefulness in his words, like he was treading on thin ice. "But whatever you decide, I'm in your corner, you know that, right?" Her heart raced. Was he ready to be there for her, despite time and space? She closed her eyes, leaning against the cool, rough brick of the house. The feeling of being anchored punched through her chest, a reminder of their past, but it left her with more questions than answers. A gust of wind swept through, rustling the leaves overhead, pulling Sarah back to reality. She felt the weight of Emia's family inside, felt that shared lineage of care still alive, albeit flickering. "I should go back inside," she said, forcing herself to break the connection. "MIA needs me." "Wait, Sarah," Ethan's voice broke through, urgency threading his words. "I don't want to lose you again. I want to help. Let me know how." "Goodbye, Ethan." Her phone slipped from her grip, landing softly on the grass. She turned and walked back into the house, her heart pounding loud in her ears. Inside, the atmosphere shifted. MIA sat beside her mom, their hands clasped together. There was a sense of unity in that moment. They were both holding on, defying the pain weaving between them. With each step toward them, Sarah felt the walls she had built around her heart tremble slightly. "Hey," MIA looked up, her eyes searching for reassurance. "You okay?" "Yeah, Mia's mom cleared her throat, interrupting the moment. "You two have always been like sisters. I need you both to lean on each other. I know things are tough." Her voice trailed off, painted with fatigue but brimming with an undeniable strength. Sarah swallowed hard, caught between the weight of MIA's mom's words and the confusion in her heart. They were family in moments like this, tied closer than blood, yet the thought of Ethan lingered at the edge of her mind. As they shared fragile smiles, Sarah realized she'd stepped back into something deeper than memories. She was stepping toward decisions that might change everything, but what if the past still had a hold on her? What if moving forward meant leaving something behind? MIA glanced toward her, and a question sparked in the air between them. What would they choose to do next? The gravity of that moment loomed large, and as Sarah's heart continued to race, she felt the tides shifting beneath her. Would she let go of old ties, or would she weave them into something new? A deeper truth pulled at her, waiting to be uncovered. As Sarah settled into the softness of the couch, she felt the tension in the room envelop her. Mia's mom whispered reassurances, slipping in and out of visions of a time before the illness that now held her captive. Sarah wanted to pull Mia close, to shield her from the harshness of reality for just a little longer, but anxiety gnawed at her. "Do you want to talk?" she asked Mia, her voice softer than she intended. "About what?" Mia's reply was quiet, yet she looked directly at Sarah, searching for something beyond the obvious. "About everything." It felt safe to say those words, a call to arms against the storm of uncertainty. Mia nodded slowly, her gaze drifting to her mom's frail figure. "I don't know what to do, Sarah. I feel so lost." Sarah felt a pang in her chest. She wished she had answers, a lifebuoy for both of them. "We'll figure it out together," she promised, trying to infuse strength into her voice. As they sat in silence, Sarah recalled the hollow echo of Ethan's words. The part of her heart that wanted to deny him felt heavy now, wading in murky feelings of nostalgia and regret. The laughter they had shared, the dreams woven during lazy afternoons, did they mean nothing? The shadows danced on the walls, whispering insecurities. "What would you do if it were your mom?" Mia's voice broke through, trembling with hope but laced with fear. "I'd want someone there. Someone to share it with." The admission rolled off her tongue, as authentic as the pain in her heart. "You deserve that." Mia's brow furrowed, the weight of their history thickening the air. "But what if things don't change?" She bit her lip, tears glistening in her eyes. "Then we adapt. We do what we have to, even when it's hard." And in that moment, Sarah realized it wasn't just about facing Mia's mom's illness, it was also about confronting her own doubts and her past with Ethan. A deep silence settled around them, crackling with potential. It felt as if the world had paused, allowing them to catch their breath. Looking at Mia, Sarah saw the fragility of hope, the very same hope she felt clinging onto her as they faced the uncertainty ahead. "Let us keep each other accountable. We can be brave together," said Sarah, feeling a surge of determination. "I'd like that," Mia replied, a flicker of warmth spreading across her face. Just then, the distant sound of a car engine rumbled outside, drawing Sarah's attention. She glanced toward the window, heart racing with an unexplainable anticipation. "Who is it?" Mia asked, her tone shifting, curious and cautious. "I don't know." Sarah leaned slightly forward, straining to see through the glass. She could see the red of a car pulling up in front of the house, edging closer. Her heart thrummed harder. Then, out stepped Ethan. The way he stood there, framed by the autumn leaves and fading daylight, sparked a mix of emotions she thought she had tucked away. He didn't move at first, as if he was gathering his thoughts before making his way to the door. "What is he doing here?" Mia asked, her voice low, laced with uncertainty. I didn't invite him." Sarah's heart thudded loudly in her chest, uncertainty swirling as memories played like a montage in her mind. Mia's eyes darted back and forth between Sarah and the door, sensing the charged atmosphere. Would confronting the lingering past embolden them, or would it throw everything into greater chaos? As the door creaked open, Sarah braced herself for whatever awaited her. The air thickened with potential, and she could feel every heartbeat resonating with the weight of choices ahead. What truth would unfold as Ethan entered, and how would it reshape her path moving forward? Ethan stepped inside, shaking off the autumn chill as he closed the door behind him. His eyes met Sarah's, and in that moment, the weight of everything unsaid hung heavily between them. "Hey, Sarah," he said, his voice a mixture of uncertainty and familiarity. "I didn't know if you'd be here." The tension in the room contorted like a living thing, and Sarah fought the urge to look away. She could feel Mia's eyes burning into her, searching for her reaction. "Why are you here, Ethan?" Sarah kept her tone steady, though inside, a storm brewed. "I came to check on your mom," he responded, running a hand through his messy hair. A familiar gesture, one that made Sarah's heart ache. "I thought maybe I could help." Mia shifted, glancing at her mom, who lay still on the couch, lost in a world of fading memories. "You didn't have to come. We're okay." Ethan opened his mouth to protest but paused, sensing the fragility in Mia's voice. "I just want to be here for you both," he said softly, stepping closer. His presence filled the room, amplifying the warmth of the late afternoon sun streaming through the window. But for Sarah, it felt like an old song playing on repeat, comforting yet bittersweet. She searched Ethan's eyes, looking for the boy she once knew before the misunderstandings, before everything fell apart. "What if we don't want your help?" Sarah asked, each word laced with her own fears. "What if things can't go back to what they were?" Mia held her breath. The question lingered, echoing in the silence that followed. Ethan breathed deeply and straightened up. "Then we find a new way. I don't want to go back, I want to move forward, together." The intensity of his gaze cut straight to Sarah's core, stirring emotions she had thought buried under layers of confusion. But could they really move forward after everything? "And what about you, Ethan? What have you done since?" Sarah struggled to complete her thought. The time apart felt like a chasm full of unanswered questions. "I've been trying to figure things out, too. I messed up, okay?" His voice cracked slightly, the vulnerability evident. "But being with you, even just as friends, it mattered to me. I thought maybe," Mia intervened, visibly torn. "Maybe we don't have to decide everything today. We just need to support my mom." "Right," Sarah said, but something deep inside urged her to confront the past. "No more hiding from the truth. Not about my mom, not about us." Ethan nodded, seemingly understanding that they stood on the brink of a new beginning or a painful ending. The air thickened with anticipation. "Okay," he said finally, his expression steadier. "Let us face it together. All of it." As their gazes locked, an electric pulse surged between them. Memories flooded Sarah's mind, laughter, love, touches that lingered like the scent of autumn leaves. But the uncertainty was still palpable, hovering around them, waiting. Mia sighed, a weary but hopeful sound. "Can we take it one step at a time? Just be here?" "Of course," Sarah answered, her heart swelling with gratitude for Mia's resilience. But as they stood together, a single glance shot between Ethan and Sarah, an unspoken understanding of what was inevitable. Just then, the sound of Mia's mom stirred on the couch, her eyes fluttering open. "What's going on?" she murmured, looking confused but alert. The moment shifted, bringing a wave of urgency with it. Would they find clarity in this chaotic moment? Or would the truth they uncovered splinter the fragile bond they'd begun to rebuild? As Sarah took a step forward, bracing for the cascading emotions that followed, she felt both fear and hope collide inside her. What would Mia's mom say? How would this fragile reunion unfold under the weight of the past? Mia's mom blinked a few times, her gaze drifting around the room as she tried to piece together the fragments of reality. Sarah watched, her heart racing, anxious for what would unfold. The sunlight seemed to dim, casting shadows that loomed like unanswered questions. "Where am I?" she finally mumbled, her voice a soft echo of confusion. Sarah stepped closer, a protective instinct surging within her. "You're home, Mom. We're all here." Ethan came to help. "Mia." Her mom's eyes landed on her, and in that instant, the weight of unspoken fears washed over Mia's face. Clearly, the daughter was unsure how much her mother would remember, or how much they could share right now. "I'm okay, Mom," Mia said hurriedly, though her quivering voice revealed the torrent of emotions just beneath the surface. Ethan shifted slightly, his presence a grounding force as he stayed at the edge, respecting the fragile space between them. Then the unexpected happened. "Ethan." MA's mom focused on him, a flicker of recognition sparking in her eyes. You're your Ethan, right? The boy who used to play in our yard? MIA stiffened, unsure how to feel about her mother suddenly recalling memories of their past. It was a fragile bridge, one that could teeter if not handled with care. Yeah, that's me, Ethan replied gently, taking a step forward, but still maintaining a respectful distance. I'm here to help however I can. The sincerity in his tone seemed to reach past the haze clouding Mia's mom's mind, and for a brief moment, a smile graced her lips. That's sweet of you. I always liked you, she said, her voice cracking slightly as memories washed over her, flashes of laughter in the backyard, the scent of summer grass, and happy faces sharing simple moments. Sarah caught the bittersweet emotion on Ethan's face. She could see how much he cared, not just about the two of them but about the family they once were. Mom, we're trying to figure things out. We're all here together, MIA said, putting her words together carefully, as if each one carried immense weight. But then, a shadow of doubt crossed her mother's face. Together? I'm not sure how what happened. The silence in the room swelled with anxiety. Ethan took a deep breath, clearly ready to address the unsteady ground beneath them. Things got complicated, he started, his voice steady but raw. We've all been through a lot. But I think we can find a way to support each other if we communicate. The tension tightened once more, making it hard for Sarah to breathe. Would rekindling the past tear them apart instead of bringing them together? Her mom looked between them, the uncertainty knitting her brows together. What do you mean? What have I missed? Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. She had wanted to share the truth, hoping it would be a healing force. So much has changed, Mom, she said softly. We've all changed. But we can either hide from it or deal with it together. MIA nodded, encouraging Sarah silently. Ethan leaned slightly forward, his eyes filled with sincerity. We need you with us, now more than ever. Can you trust us to help? As their mother's gaze shifted between them again, a bittersweet smile flickered on her lips. Trust. It's been hard for me to hold on to that. MIA took a tentative step closer, holding her mother's hand. Then let us start small. Let us start with being together right now, right here. The air felt electric, charged with the possibility of healing but also filled with the shadow of doubts and regrets. As silence settled, it lingered like a coiled spring, ready to snap. Sarah's breath hitched. Deep down, she knew that although they were leaning on one another now, the real challenge was still ahead. Ethan met Sarah's eyes, an unspoken question hanging in the air. Were they brave enough to face the truth that lay just beneath the surface? MIA's mom took a shallow breath, her expression wavering. Are you all really ready for that? Ready to face the past? Sarah nodded, but fear whispered doubts in the back of her mind. Was everyone truly ready to dive deep? The path ahead shimmered with potential, yet the fog of the past clung tightly, ready to engulf them if they faltered. What if facing the truth only complicated matters further? As the weight of unspoken words thickened in the room, Sarah felt the ground shift beneath them. Would they be able to build a future, or would they find themselves lost in the memories that haunted them? MA's mom's smile flickered uncertainly, a hint of something deeper lurking behind her eyes. I want to be ready. I do, she whispered, her voice trembling like a leaf caught in the wind. But when I try to remember. She hesitated, searching for the words like they were lost in a dark corner of her mind. The air in the room was thick, a mixture of hope and fear that weighed heavily on Sarah's chest. We've all been through so much, Ethan encouraged, his tone softening. You don't have to remember everything right now. Just start with us. Just focus on being here. Being here feels overwhelming, MIA's mom admitted, looking down at her hands, worn and fragile as if they carried all the burdens of the past. MIA squeezed her hand tightly, as if hoping to transfer her strength. We can take baby steps, she said, forcing a smile even though doubt gnawed at her thoughts. Just talking. You remember how much we talked, right? About silly things, about dreams. Yes, her mom replied, a flicker of warmth breaking through her confusion. I remember your dream about becoming an artist. MIA blinked back tears. And I remember that you always believed in me. No matter what, can we hold on to that? Leaning back, Sarah felt a wave of longing wash over her. How could they reclaim the warmth of those shared moments? Was it too late? She found herself glancing at Ethan, his presence a pillar of quiet strength. "And what about you, Sarah?" Emia's mom asked, her voice gentle yet probing. "What is your dream?" The question left Sarah paralyzed. For so long, she parked her dreams in the shadows, allowing herself only fragments of aspiration. I wanted to write," she stammered, her eyes searching her mother's face for any sign of understanding. "To tell stories like the ones you used to read to us." "That sounds like a beautiful dream," her mother said, nodding slowly. "Why don't you write again?" A crack of hope appeared, a small light she hadn't seen in a while. Maybe this moment together was the start of something bigger, a way to mend the frayed threads of their family. Yet, as a heavy silence fell, doubts surfaced again. What if what they were doing was a mask, hiding the cracks beneath? The fear of being vulnerable pressed down on Sarah like an anchor. "Mom," Mia began, her voice steadying despite the whirlwind of emotions around them. "What do you remember about the last few years?" Mia's mother pursed her lips, gaze drifting once more. "There were so many fights, disagreements. I tried to hold everything up." Ethan shifted forward, his brows knit together. "It's okay to let go of that weight. We all have scars, but we can heal together." The words pierced through the fog in the room, nudging Mia's mom closer to a point of decision. What if facing the truth hurts us even more? "Maybe," Sarah offered, her voice small but resolute. "But hiding only prolongs the pain. We're braver together." A breath caught in Mia's mom's throat as she considered this. "What do you want from me?" The question hung like a storm cloud, ominous yet necessary. Mia opened her mouth, ready to speak, but stumbled over her thoughts. "Understanding," she finally said. "And love." Tears pooled in her mom's eyes, and for a moment, it felt like they collectively held their breath. Would they dare to push through this fragile moment into something real, something true? But before she could respond, the door creaked, and the ominous presence of someone unexpected filled the room. A figure stepped in, eyes scanning the atmosphere, and in that instant, Sarah felt every muscle tense as the air thickened with possibilities. "Am I interrupting?" The voice carried sharply, stirring emotions that had just begun to settle, pulling them back into chaos. Everyone turned to face the newcomer, tension sparking in the air again. What new revelations could this person bring? Would they be allies, or would they complicate things further? As the door swung wider, Sarah's breath hitched. The guard she had carefully constructed around her heart teetered on the brink of collapse. In walked Ethan's business partner, Rachel, sleek and polished like the city cityscape behind her. Her presence filled the room with a sudden and intense energy, and Sarah felt an unsettling storm brew inside. What was she doing here? "Mia, I didn't expect to find you here," Rachel said, her voice glossy yet dissonant with the emotions swirling in the room. "I came to talk to Ethan." The words tugged at Sarah, reminding her of the looming worries she had brushed aside. Were they still just business partners, or was there something more? Mia's mom shifted, confusion shadowing her delicate features. We're in the middle of something," Sarah interrupted, her voice stronger than she felt. "Ethan has been helping us. We could really use his support right now." Rachel's gaze flicked between Sarah and Ethan, lingering with questions that seemed to offer a double-edged sword of intrigue and discomfort. "I understand that, but we have a meeting to discuss," she replied coolly, oblivious to the emotional hurricane brewing in the room. "No," Ethan stepped forward, grounding the storm with his presence. "I'm here with Sarah and Mia. They need me now." The weight of his words hung in the air, both defiant and protective, and in that moment, Rachel's demeanor faltered, the layers of her polished exterior cracking slightly. "Ethan," Rachel began, but he cut her off. "Family comes first," he affirmed, his voice steady, eyes burning with a fierce loyalty that sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. Mia squeezed her mother's hand tighter, an anchor amidst the chaos. "Can't we just focus on what we're facing right here?" she said softly, her voice resolute. "We all want to help each other. There's so much love in this room, let us just breathe through it together." The tension eased slightly, replacing the frantic energy with a fragile hope. Rachel's posture relaxed a fraction, ambiguity swirling in her eyes as she seemed to reevaluate her purpose in this moment. Maybe I should give you some space, Rachel conceded slowly, her voice softening. I didn't mean to intrude. Ethan shifted, a flicker of appreciation crossing his features. Thank you, he said, but he didn't take his eyes off Sarah. I've realized that some bonds are more essential than business. As Rachel stepped back towards the door, the uncertainty that marked her presence began to dissolve. Before she exited, Rachel turned once more to Ethan. Just think about the priorities you're setting. This isn't just about feelings. With that, she was gone, leaving an empty echo in her wake, and it felt as if the air had shifted into something lighter, yet still charged. Wow, Mia breathed, looking between her mom and Sarah, disbelief mixing with relief. I didn't expect that. Neither did I, Sarah admitted, her heart racing. The intimacy of the moment settled around them, and they could hear the faint sounds of life outside, children playing, laughter, the hum of the city moving forward. Let us harness this moment, Ethan said gently, stepping closer. We can face the truth, but also nurture the love we have. Can we open the door to that together? Sarah met his gaze, and her heart swelled with an unexpected warmth. In that instant, she understood the beauty of being connected, really connected, in spite of their past or future. Her mom, still weary but more present than ever, nodded slowly. I didn't realize how healing it could be just to speak again, to share what we're feeling instead of hiding from it. Let us promise to be honest, Mia said, her voice steadfast, even when it hurts. I think we can do that, Ethan assured, his eyes meeting Sarah's with a glimmer of understanding. In that small circle of love, hope, and hard decisions, Sarah felt a surge of clarity. There would be challenges ahead, the road might be uncertain, but by allowing each other to lean into the vulnerabilities of their past, they could weave something beautiful out of what felt broken. Together, then, Sarah said softly, feeling strength as they all held hands, an unspoken bond knitting them closer. We can heal, but we can also move forward, starting now. As the sunset bathed the room in a warm glow, Sarah was filled with resolve. She wouldn't lose herself in the whirlwind of her past. Instead, she stepped toward a future laced with love and possibility, feeling the echoes of her childhood frame her vision for what could be. Through shared memories, vulnerability, and a newly forged commitment to each other, they stood on the cusp of something transformative, a family stitched back together with threads of understanding. Hold on to hope and let it guide you. It might just lead you to the place you were always meant to be. Now is the time to take action. If you felt the weight of this story, you need to subscribe now. Don't miss out on our exclusive tales that will tug at your heartstrings. Hit that like button to feed the algorithm, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts and feelings about the ending. And for your friends who need inspiration, share this video with at least 5 people. You have the power to spread the love. Don't wait not even one more second. Join our community of true fans today.